This is the Redmi Note 10s recently released by Xiaomi and running on the Mediatek Helio G95 processor. And this is the Redmi Note 10 Pro, sporting the Snapdragon 732G and a 120Hz screen refresh rate display. Which is the best purchase for you? What up guys, the name is Easy and welcome to the channel. It is a comparison between the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the Redmi Note 10s. Both of these are capable devices, a bit close in price and both sporting high performance processors. The Redmi Note 10 Pro is the highest of the Note series, while the Redmi Note 10s is more of a bridge between the Redmi Note 10 Pro and the regular Note 10. Its processor is just as powerful as what you have on the Note 10 Pro, but its body and build quality is a replica of the Note 10. If you wish to see a detailed review of either the Redmi Note 10 Pro or the Redmi Note 10s, I'll link them in the description and you can check them out after this video. I'll also have my affiliate links in the description if you wish to purchase either of these devices. You can support the channel by using those links. Both phones are designed nicely with good build quality, but the Redmi Note 10 Pro has the overall better build with Gorilla Glass 5 on its display and the rear. It also feels better to handle with its frost finish, though I think the black has a glossy finish. I can't say the same for durability though, since it's a glass rear. The Redmi Note 10s on the other hand, much like the Note 10, it has Gorilla Glass 3 on its display and plastic on the rear. It doesn't have a frost glass finish like the Note 10 Pro, more of a matte plastic, but it won't shatter from a drop. On the rear, that is. They both have quad rear cameras, more details on that later. The Note 10s is also the more portable of both devices at 6.43 inches. The Redmi Note 10 Pro comes at 6.67 inches. Both have similar ports and buttons placement, with a side-mounted fingerprint scanner which pretty much functions as expected. They both also have stereo speakers, so no compromise on sound quality from either. If you're enjoying this video so far, a sub to the channel will be very much appreciated. On the display side of things, while the size is not the same, everything else is quite similar with the Redmi Note 10s and Pro, with both sporting a Full HD AMOLED display with a center hole punch selfie camera. Both displays are made by Samsung, so they are vibrant, sharp and attractive, both with HDR10 support. You may not be able to tell the difference even when placed side by side. However, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a few display advantages. First, it has a slightly higher peak brightness level at 1200 nits, while the Note 10s has 1100 nits of peak brightness. Not much of a difference, but it should be noted. Also, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has a 120Hz refresh rate display as opposed to the 60Hz we have on the Redmi Note 10s. 90Hz would have been the least preferred for the Redmi Note 10s. I'm sure I'm not the only one that thinks that way. The third display advantage of the Redmi Note 10 Pro, which I mentioned before, is Gorilla Glass 5 protection on the display. The Redmi Note 10s has just Gorilla Glass 3. That however does not rule out the fact that they are both glass and will shatter from a hard fall. One just has higher resistance. Both devices also have IP53 rating for splash and dust resistance. On software, both the Redmi Note 10s and the Note 10 Pro comes with Android 11 and MIUI 12.5. The Note 10s actually has MIUI 12.5 pre-installed from the box, while the Redmi Note 10 Pro recently got updated to 12.5 from the previous version. You'll get pretty much the same software experience, except that you will have it smoother on the Redmi Note 10 Pro thanks to its 120Hz refresh rate. That is not to say operating the Note 10s is not smooth. 120Hz just makes everything better. You also pretty much get the same memory options for both the Redmi Note 10s and Pro, with the base being 6GB of RAM and 64GB of UFS 2.2 storage, and the highest configuration being 8GB of RAM and 128GB of UFS 2.2 storage. The Redmi Note 10s runs on the Mediatek Helio G95 processor, one which is just as powerful as the Snapdragon 732G on the Redmi Note 10 Pro. The Note 10 Pro however has the higher benchmark scores on both Antutu and Geekbench. In actual user experience though, 120Hz aside, you get mostly similar performance from both devices. In a speed test, while both devices are equally fast, the Redmi Note 10s tends to be the slightly more responsive device 95% of the time. It launches apps a bit faster than the Note 10 Pro. Still speaking on processor performance, the Note 10 Pro has the Adreno 618 GPU, while the Note 10s has the Mali G76 GPU. They will equally run high graphics gains pretty well, but in my experience, the Redmi Note 10s provides a slightly better gaming performance. It is able to run Genshin Impact on default medium settings and can even go up a bit without lags. While the Redmi Note 10 Pro can also run it on medium settings, its default setting is low. Both the Redmi Note 10s and Note 10 Pro have the same battery capacity at 5000 mAh and can last you at least a day on a full charge. They also both support 33W fast charging. The cameras on the Redmi Note 10 Pro and S is where you see significant difference in specification. The Redmi Note 10 Pro has the higher 16MP selfie camera, while the Note 10s has just 13MP selfie camera. On the rear, the Note 10 Pro also has the higher 108MP main camera and 8MP ultra wide, 5MP macro and 2MP depth. The Note 10s has a 64MP main camera, 8MP ultra wide, 2MP macro and depth sensors. Both phones do well to take really good pictures, and until you put them side by side, you may not be bothered about their quality. They both have the same 8MP ultra wide camera. What are your thoughts on these photos? Do leave a comment and let's see your analysis and preference between the Note 10s and the Note 10 Pro when it comes to their pictures. They are both capable of shooting 4K 30fps from the rear camera, but you can only do 1080p 30 from their selfie camera.
Okay, hello guys, so you are looking at a video sample from the selfie cameras of the Redmi Note 10s and that of the Redmi Note 10 Pro. Both can only do 1080p 30fps from their selfie cameras, but they can shoot 4K 30fps from their rear cameras.
Summarily, the Redmi Note 10 Pro has quite the advantage over the Note 10s in certain areas, but not all. Performance-wise, they are comparable, though the 120Hz on the Note 10 Pro separates them. Also, some might prefer a Snapdragon processor over the Mediatek. My recommendation is this: the Redmi Note 10s is a very capable device, and by all means you can go for it. However, the 6GB 128GB version is what I recommend. If you have budget enough for the 8GB version, the Redmi Note 10 Pro might be your best bet instead. But hey, if you don't need a 120Hz refresh rate and the build quality of the Note 10s is just fine for you, by all means you should go for that one. If you found this video helpful, do give it a thumbs up and also consider subscribing to the channel. Peace out.